please stand for the opening prayer and pledge?
Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Thy will be done. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hancock County Commission will come to order this 20th day of July 2017 at 2:30 p.m. This time I'll ask the clerk to take a roll call.
Mr. President, all commissioners are present.
Moving on, approval of the County Commission meetings for July 7, 2017.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence. Jackie Heron, the Regional Development Coordinator, Northern Panhandle, Make-A-Wish, requesting financial support for the Carnival of Wishes. Jackie, perfect timing, huh?
Right, timed it just right.
Great.
How are y'all doing?
Doing good, thank you.
Wonderful. Do y'all have the handout?
Yes.
The attachments? Okay. Well, good morning, commissioners. Thank you so much. Is that okay if I put that right there? Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Jackie Harriman, like you said. I'm the Regional Development Coordinator for Make-A-Wish of Northern West Virginia. And I actually just moved here from New Orleans, so I'm still brand new to the area, but my fiance and I moved up here for his job, and we love it. It's wonderful. If you could have a wish, what would it be? Would you wish to go anywhere in the world? Would you wish to meet your favorite celebrity or your favorite athlete? Would you wish to maybe be a police officer or your favorite golf player? Or would you wish to have anything like a puppy or a guitar or maybe refurbish your car? These are just some of the millions of wishes that we have granted that we love to help make come true for kids that need them. We grant wishes for children who have life-threatening medical conditions to enrich the human experience with hope, strength, and joy. And in order to continue to do what we do, we need your support. So that's why I'm here, and I'm going to ask for the top amount, which is $4,400. That is the average cost of one wish. If you guys can help us out, we would greatly appreciate it. More so because you could help make wishes come true, just like little Emery's wish. She's actually from Chester, West Virginia, which is right up the road, and she went to Disney World, and so she had a great time. She unfortunately suffers daily with epilepsy, and I actually was just texting her mom as I was walking in, and she just had a seizure last week. Sometimes they last 1 minute, sometimes they last 5, but in that time frame, they never know what can happen. That 1 5-minute seizure put her in the hospital overnight. Think about that. Holy moly. Her life is altered every single day. It's a constant battle. And not only for little Emery, but it's also for her mom and her dad, the medical bills. And any siblings or family members, they have to take time off of work to make sure she's okay. So what we did was we granted her wish to go to Disney World, and her entire family had a fantastic time. She got to forget about everything she goes through and just focus on being a kid. And that's all it was. It was great. Her favorite part was dressing up like Snow White at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique in Magic Kingdom. So just like Emery's wish, we want to continue to do that right here in Hancock County. So if you guys can help fund one wish at $4,400, we would love to make you our presenting sponsor of our gala. We are actually going to have it at the Mountaineer Casino right up the road. So it's right here in your backyard. We would love everybody to come if you can. Tickets are only $50. And we would love your support. I think it would be a great partnership, and it would be wonderful PR to the County Commission, and to let people know that y'all are here, that we want people to be able to partner with the Commission. So we would love to make that happen if it's possible. That would be great.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions, or can I provide any other information?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay.
You do a great job. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So we appreciate it. We appreciate it, and we would love your help to continue to do that. That would be great.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Gentlemen, I'll ask that we put this into our request file and look at it at a later date when we look at doing some further budgeting.
So moved.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Under new business, approval of an order declaring opioid issues a public nuisance.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Approval to appoint an individual to an open position on the Hancock County Parks and Recreation Board. Gentlemen, we had one person submit their name, and that was Ian Wilson. Accept the motion that we approve him. Had an opportunity to talk to him. He's interested in serving on the board.
I move that we approve Ian Wilson, the position on the Hancock County Parks and Recreation Board.
Discussion?
How long of a term is that? Approximately
I believe it's 3 years.
3 years.
I believe it's 3 years. I can double check with Paige. Further discussion, we have Mr. Wilson with us today. Hi, Ian, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of release of deed of trust for the following individual as a 5-year lien has lapsed. Joseph G. Shive.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of general county budget revisions for fiscal year 2017 and 18.
Yes, sir. This is just a revision that's due to the state first one of the year, this fiscal year. It's due by next week.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The County Clerk's Office requesting approval to adopt the emergency absentee voting policy for October 7, 2017 special election.
Move to approve.
Discussion? Mr. Clerk, you have any questions or discussion on?
Well, the policy really helps people who are qualified voters, maybe in a hospital, rest home, or any kind of facility. They try to come out and vote, give them a chance to vote. The only problem, not problem, the only rule is that the facility has to be within 35 miles of Hancock County. Other than that, they can vote.
Very good. With no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Requesting approval to appoint Joe Ellen Kessel and Stephanie Weibels as emergency absentee ballot commissioners for October 7, 2017 special election.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Dog Warden approval of the June 2017 monthly report.
Move to approve.
Discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. From the Office of Technology and Communications, requesting approval of the resignation of Kenneth Schuman from the position of part-time dispatcher effective July 18, 2017.
Move to approve.
Discussion?
Yes, Alex has taken a full-time position at a plant out in Burgettstown, so we wish him the best. He was a good dispatcher, so he's going to do best.
Good. I'd like to thank him for his short stay. He is a nice gentleman. Too bad we are losing him, but we're happy that he's moving on to a better position.
Exactly.
Thank you, Tracy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. From the Sheriff's Department, requesting approval to hire Cheryl Meadows for the position of tax deputy effective August 1st, 2017.
Move to approve.
Discussion? Sheriff, you had quite a few applicants, I understand.
23 applicants. I ran an interview with each one of them, able to narrow it down from there. Our area has a lot of qualified people here, and I wish my tax office was bigger just so I could bring these people in that have so much to offer. Unfortunately, we have one spot, so this one I'm going to be real pleased with, I hope. It was a good experience all the way around, interviewing these people, meeting with people from our community.
Okay. Well, thank you. All in favor of the approval?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of exoneration orders.
I believe you have 13.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of general county bills.
General county bills are $110,604.18. Pay card payments so far are $3,764.17. June expenditures were $1,095,143.72.
Move to approve.
Discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of animal shelter levy fund bills and requisitions.
They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of library levy fund bills and requisitions.
They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
Discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of sheltered workshop levy fund bills and requisitions.
We have none this meeting.
Okay, moving on. Today we have some citizens that would wish to address the commission. Our first one is Ian Wilson. Ian is the gentleman that was just appointed to the park board.
Hi, Ian Wilson. Just first want to say thank you for giving me the chance to serve on the Parks and Rec Board. I really appreciate it, and I hope good things come of it. And also, I'd like to thank everybody else in the county that didn't sign up for it, because I was the only applicant, and therefore I was the best applicant. That's always good. The questions I have are pretty much the same questions I asked last time I was here. First one is about, I would like to know from the sheriff and from the prosecutor, how many tickets, citations, busts we had concerning litter in the county in the past month or so. I asked last time, and I'll ask again next time. I'd really like to show up here or watch the videos on YouTube and know what's going on, how many, if any, citations have been given, or what is being done about the litter. And the next question that I asked this last time also, and Mr. Fletcher, you weren't here, but your deputy was. He gave a little bit of information. It was good. It was concerning the TIP 411 app. I've lived here for 3 years. I've never heard about it. I ran across it at your website a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I would just like to know how effective it is. How many good quality tips do you get, like maybe per month? What type of tips? How many people use it? And just some general information about it. And I'd also really like to ask or implore that I was here for 3 years. I didn't know about it. I never hear it mentioned on TV, on the news, in the newspapers. It's not on the side of your cars. It's not saying call here. It's anonymous. It's none of it. I mean, there's no signs around the community. I would just like it to be used more or better, and also know that it is effective. Because if it's effective, I say sign up on every single board in the county. But that's it for today. I'll ask the same questions next time too.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks for hiring me.
By the way, it's not a paid position. You're appointed.
Is mileage involved?
No. Moving on, Mark Zateslo from West Virginia House of Delegates. He's here to discuss smoking bans.
Gentlemen, thank you for being allowed to address you. This is more informational than it is seeking anything from the council right at this time. And by the way, before I go on, I'd just like to say it's really nice to see the man in the middle up there, standing his watch. It's a great thing to see you, Joe.
Thank you.
Anyway, we've been requested to take a look at smoking bans in the area. A lot of businesses in the area have decided or implored us to see what can be done about it, because they're hurting financially. That includes fraternal groups and a lot of the cafes and that type of thing. So what we did was try to get a sense of what exactly, how much support there is for having a waiver for for facilities that would qualify under certain criteria. Obviously, any place where there are children is out. Obviously, a lot of restaurants that we went to talk to said, well, it's okay. You know, we have a lot of children here, and it's just as well to just keep it that way, and that's fine. We're not looking for a blanket here, but we are looking for in cases where businesses have been impacted, and I think Liz can talk to you about how many have been impacted. We got a short petition together that basically just says we think county commissioners should have the right to make the decision in those cases. We got 1,100 signatures, which I think, considering it wasn't done out in the full public, it was the people who frequent establishments, the American Legion, the VFW, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought I would, today I realize that the county's hands are tied in this matter at this point. But I would like to, for your information, just to have this, we'll give you a copy of these signatures. And for the future, whatever we do in Charleston, hopefully, Commissioner Davis, you were absolutely upfront with the whole rest of the state and have testified that you welcome the chance to make these decisions. Much appreciated, much appreciated. But I think, you know, we're at a point now where we don't want businesses to fail. We don't want people to, I don't want veterans not to be able to smoke if the group says it's okay. You know, it's a private decision or a fraternal decision or whatever. It should not be a decision that comes down from up above and you know, gets into regulation of life issues and that type of thing. So I'd like to leave this with you. You can have it or look at it and do as you wish, but at least you know that there are a fair amount of people in a short period of time who actually support the idea. And Liz, if you want to add anything.
Liz, I didn't call upon you. I thought you were going to speak
We're
second,
together.
but go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Elizabeth Gregg Balt. I'm the chairwoman of the Hancock County GOP. And Mark and I have been working on all kinds of issues for the county because we do listen to the people. They call us for everything from I have a dead deer in my yard, what do I do, to this issue. Our consensus was 26.4% of our county are children, and 18% of our population is over the age of 80. So with our 1,100 petitions, and we didn't canvass large, we didn't door knock, we went to establishments. In Weirton itself, we've lost 16 businesses due to the smoking ban. Their bars, their cafes, that type of thing. And 9 more are on the agenda. I don't know how many bars there originally were in Newell, but there's not a single one anymore. And the same thing goes up for all the other little venues going along the way, New Manchester and Chester, things like that. As far as the Elks, the VFW, the American Legion, this brings me back to the point of Vietnam. I think you're all the same age to remember that. Our friends were going off to war at 18, but they could not have a beer, but they could die for our country. And these guys sitting in these lodges now feel exactly the same way they did back then when they were 18 and 19 coming home from a war that nobody appreciated, and they were spit at, and they were put down for defending their country. And right now, in 2017, they feel exactly the same way, that they can have a beer now, but God forbid they should light a cigarette. In L.A., you can't have a cigarette on the street, but you can light up a joint. What's the insanity here? I understand about the health department. I understand your position, but I think there should be variances and exceptions. Casinos, little cafes, bars, any of the Legion halls, the Elks, the VFW, I can't think of all their names, but all these places where our veterans can go and hang out with their friends, their buddies that they suffered for, and it's an automatic blanket ban. They feel exactly like they did 40 years ago, almost 50 years ago, when they came home. It's not fair to them. You know, we see it all the time in the newspaper. We see it on Facebook, that our veterans are disgraced, even now, even to this day. And we've just got to get a handle on this. So whoever we got to take this to have some compassion and listen to our people, we have to do this for them because they don't always have a voice. They complain amongst themselves. And Mark and I went and we talked to them. We visited with them, and a lot of them are healthy, but they've got the Agent Orange, they've got health conditions. We know about the VA problems. Let's not give them one more stumbling block. So, we talked about that. So, we're going to give you our copies because we're keeping our originals.
And I think you alluded to this, Delegate, that the commission has no authority on the smoking ban issue.
But you have authority over the health department.
The appointments of the health board members.
Right.
The petition that you have there, have you delivered a copy of that to the health department? That might be the first stop.
We thought we'd make you the first stop because they look at us like we have two heads, but we'll try that approach again.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we can do that.
We can do that.
You're more than welcome to leave that copy, or you can make a copy and give it to the health department. I think you all know as many hearings and meetings that we've had here, the commission, and there were many of public hearings prior to the ban on smoking that took place at different areas, and some of the commissioners were able to take part in those public hearings as well. But in regards to the smoking ban, no matter how this commission felt, we still have no jurisdiction. I would truly believe if you're trying to make a difference, Delegate, and that is introduce legislation in Charleston if you would wish to get the authority in the hands of the county commission, do it that way. I know you've been a delegate for what, 4 years now? 3.
We've also thought about referendum to put it on the ballot for the primary in May.
Those might be your strongest and best avenues to approach this. Again, our hands, you realize our hands are tied at this point, and you're the man in Charleston. Maybe you can make something happen, Don.
Well,
I know Delegate McLean, I believe, has introduced legislation.
I was a co-sponsor on his legislation.
And unfortunately, it didn't, or fortunately, however you look at it, it didn't go anywhere.
I look at it the same way as oil and gas. We didn't have a lot of data. We didn't have a lot of feedback when all this stuff went into place. And I don't know that people want businesses to suffer as much as they are. And so now when we have some information, I think it's better to revisit it with some people's input, and especially since they ask us.
I think the health department is the correct way to go because there's other counties that allow smoking in certain venues. And they all have exceptions, and I think you're right on that, and we will address that today.
And each county is different, and I'm not sure that addressing this health department in Hancock County would be different in any other county.
Right.
But, you talk about losses, you talk about job losses, revenue losses. Who suffers more than anybody in this whole situation? If you're looking at the smoking ban as being a loss of revenue, as you're putting it, the state of West Virginia is.
Right. Sure.
Okay? Other than passing the buck, per se, to the county commission, I haven't seen anything that our legislative body have done, from our finance committee on.
Absolutely.
Number 2 is the lottery commission loses more money than anyone.
Right.
Okay? The lottery commission has never approached the legislature to do anything about it. So the higher-ups don't seem to care about the revenue loss.
No.
And
that's my point.
And that's why this issue
raised all these new appropriations. I'm probably the only smoker in the room, but a carton of my cigarettes doubled in 1 week. Doubled. That's ridiculous.
Cigarette prices haven't went up.
The taxes.
Taxes went up last year. Taxes have not went up.
I can show you the receipts for a whole year compared to 2 weeks
The last
ago.
cigarette tax raise rate was 65 cents, took effect July 1st, 2016. But irregardless, the revenue loss that the lottery commission sees, has never been addressed to the legislature. That's where this issue needs to be taken.
I brought it up.
And evidently the state doesn't worry about the revenue loss because they're not doing anything about it.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I've talked to people about it down there. And with a little more data, I think we can revisit it and see if something can get done. But I just wanted you to be alerted.
Oh, we're aware.
Yeah.
We're aware.
And there is some basis for it. So
Okay, well, thank you. More than welcome.
Thank
to
all of you.
provide us.
But at least now, as citizens, you all know some more data about how our veterans feel.
Thank
you for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yep. You too.
Teamwork.
Okay, Mr. Scola, anything for the good of the order?
No, sir, not today.
Thank you.
Nothing today.
Mr. Vitus.
Just briefly, I believe it was the last meeting, we did ask for the ability to advertise for 2 more part-time dispatchers. Losing another one is going to make it hard to get through summer without increased overtime costs in the 911 center. It's not a job many people can do. And I give those the people that can sit there and take calls for hour after hour about people in need or in trouble. It takes a certain breed, but we sure would like to have a few more apply so that we can get a few in and get them started training.
On touching on the job, yes, absolutely. It's back shift. It's holidays. It's when most people are off. I believe, all the dispatching turns are 12-hour shifts. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you find that to be? I'm sure for the ones who are working full time, they like that 12-hour shift.
Yes, they do.
What about, is there the ability to maybe have an 8-hour shift and a 12-hour shift where you could maybe draw in a different a group of people who would like that?
Now, Bob and I had discussed that at one point, but with the 12 hours, I have more people to pull from. So I've got 6 people working, I would have 6 people off. So that frees up, if I do need overtime or something, that many more people are available. If I work the 8-hour shifts, that's 9 people that's working and only 3 people available. So that's kind of the reason that we have it the way that it is. And then with the full-time and the part-time, sometimes the shifts are broke up into 6-hour increments, and they really like that. And then they also like the fact that they can have that break because, like Bob just said, the job can be very stressful. And so when they're able to actually decompress, take that time off, and be able to recoup and then come back.
Obviously, if you're most of our full-time dispatchers are seasoned people. They've been there for a while, and of course they have benefits. Our part-timers do not. What about if we're looking at paying seasoned veteran people an overtime rate? Should we not look at maybe hiring? We just lost a gentleman who went and got a full-time job.
That's correct.
Wasn't receiving benefits. What if we look at our cost of what we're paying our overtime, and maybe hiring a full-time person, especially a young person who may have the ability and would like to be kind of on a swing, on-call type deal, and where he or she has benefits to the job. We cross this bridge every other meeting about hiring part-time people, and it's very difficult. Nobody wants to come out.
No.
First of all, you can't get people to work, number one. Number two, to call them out at the spur of the moment, it's very difficult. We got to look at another option, another approach, try to get some folks.
Our problem at this point is getting them trained fast enough to hire them full time. Because Alex is a perfect example. He was to the point where we could bring him on full time because he was sufficiently trained, and he takes a job at Union Electric. So,
yeah, very good. Well, let's keep trying.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anything else, Tracy? Boy,
No, we're good.
you're
So
good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Good, Jackie.
Just real briefly, due to Mr. Zetesler being here, the health department would welcome him to a Board of Health meeting to share his information. The second question I would have is regarding the petitions presented. Have they been certified as voters of Hancock County, the petition signers? because they're referencing population bases of Hancock County, and then having petition presented with 1,100 signers, they said, are those actual residents of Hancock County also in your statistics?
Well, I certainly didn't mean to stick them on you, but
Quite all right.
he is aware that it doesn't.
I've been doing this for 2 years.
Right,
Jack.
right. And he's downstate. He knows. But call a
And
spade
I
a
was
spade.
with you at the House of Delegates public forum. You presented and I
Right.
presented at the same time.
Right. Some people weren't even in attendance. Anyhow, thank you.
Probably was the 3 feet of snow, but
Yeah. Jeannie, anything from the election office?
Other than the referendum that will be coming up October the 7th, if anybody has any questions, would like to register to vote, please come and see us or give us a call.
Touching on that, are the precincts still the same, Mr. Foley, or has anything changed for this election?
We have to make a couple changes.
And the voters will be notified for what they will? Okay. When is the deadline to send that out? Because this is what, we're pushing the end of
Well,
June.
we're looking at what, October the
7th is the election?
Yeah. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
We have to stay within
Maybe,
the code.
I know I probably caught you off guard, and we don't know the maybe the specifics, but
Scheduled at once, and now yesterday they changed it, so.
okay. Well, maybe between you and Jeannie, let us know if there's anything that the commission needs to do as far as notifying or sending out notices or finding a new location.
So far, everything looks good, and I want to thank Paige because she's been a great help since they kind of sprung this on us.
Good, good. The state is paying for this special election. Machine or paper?
It is all paper.
It's all paper ballot.
It's a $1.6 billion referendum to purchase bonds for our highways and bridges.
Good. Thank you. Jeremy, Emergency Services? Okay. Quiet. Sheriff? Mr. Foley, anything else? Mr. Cowie?
I'd like to welcome Cheryl Meadows to the courthouse staff for the tax deputy. Also want to let people know that anybody that was interested in going to the Teapot Day on August the 12th has been canceled because the construction down on 30 will not be completed on the ramp, so that does have to be canceled this year. That is all I have.
Commissioner Barnaby?
I have nothing today.
I see nothing outstanding on the agenda. With that being said, I'll ask for a motion that we adjourn until August 3rd, which is a Thursday, 2:30 p.m.
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.